Good evening to you and a warm welcome. If you're just joining, we start with this. Fezile Ngubane, who was previously named as one of the suspects in the murder of Olorato Mongale, says he was not involved in her murder. He says he's also a victim of a crime. Ngubane spoke to Newzroom Afrika's Silethiwe Ndlovu a short while ago. Let's take a listen.
This is my last opportunity in life to turn back to doing good, because most of my life I hurt my parents and I hurt mostly myself. So I would just like to say to South Africa that anybody who thought I was involved in this should know for a fact that I've never done anything wrong. I've never left home. I've always been with my parents, and I've never laid a hand on a woman. I've only got one child in my life. She just finished her matric. So I'm not a violent person. My neighbors know me and everybody, because as the people around my area were saying that there's not an inch that this guy is involved in this. But what can we say? If the police wants you, the police wants you. You're involved, they say you're involved.
Well, the reporter who was covering that particular story for us, who had that very conversation, Silethiwe Ndlovu, joining us now from Durban. Silethiwe, good evening to you, and very, very important comments that are being made by Fezile Ngubane. Let's start off when he says that he is also a victim of crime. What does he mean? What happened to him? How did he get to be named as a suspect in the first place, but ultimately cleared?
Well, what we understand, Xoli, from the conversation that we had just a short while ago with Fezile Ngubane, who has now been cleared by the police, he does state that he handed his ID to the alleged suspect after the alleged suspect, and this now being the deceased Nkosi Makanya, after he said that he would assist him and a number of other people with getting into the Uber business. We also understand that he states that the deceased stated that he would also assist them in terms of increasing their credit scores and also assist them with getting a grant. But it seems as if, of course, that is not what transpired, because what we understand from the conversation that we had, not just with Fezile Ngubane, but also the other individuals that also live on the same street as the deceased. We understand that he did, it seems, allegedly take those IDs and use them for something completely different. And we understand from the statement then that has been released, it seems as if Fezile Ngubane's ID was being used for crimes such as kidnapping and robbery. He does state, Oli, that the deceased, this now being Nkosi Makanya, lived on the same street as Fezile, but he does also state, which is of great importance then when you are looking at this matter, he does state that leading up to those days when Olorato Mongale's body was discovered, he was nowhere near Joburg. In fact, he does state that the last time that he was in Joburg was in 2021. So he says that it came as a shock to him when someone actually showed him pictures on Facebook saying that he is a suspect in the matter. But as you mentioned, Oli, we did have a conversation with him earlier on where he spoke on a number of things, including including the fact that the last time he was in Joburg was in 2021, and also just expressing his shock when you are looking at this matter where he finds himself in. So let's have a listen to what he had to say to us earlier on.
I would say he stays one street. I stay one street next to him. So, but I wouldn't put him as a bad guy. You know, sometimes things in life takes you through the things he has. He has maybe been through. You know, put him through shut. Maybe he turned wrong into women. And I would kindly like to say to Olorato's family that I wasn't involved in this crime, and may Olorato's soul rest in peace. And to South Africa that I haven't been to Joburg since 2021 when I was in Waterfall School. So I've been around Durban. So now how would that be? possible that I've killed a girl in such far places, because it was him and his friend, as the police said, and as the police confirmed, and the police didn't even harass me, they were quite professional. I wouldn't like to cause a drama.
Silethiwe, you not only spoke to Fezile Ngubane, you also had a chance to talk to his parents. Before you tell us what they've had to say, but it would appear that what these parents did is what would have been expected of the parents of the real suspects in this matter. And that is to say, if my child is involved in something as dangerous as this, something as brutal as this, the logical step to do as a parent is to take your child to the police station, and that is exactly what Fezile's parents did. What did they tell you?
Certainly, Oli, we heard from the father whom we spoke to earlier on, speaking about how as soon as he heard that his son is a suspect in the matter, he took it upon himself to actually take him to the police station. In fact, we do understand that it wasn't only just the father, but also he was joined by the brother then of Fezile Ngubane, whom we understand they drove Fezile to the police station, where we understand that he then spoke to the police, and a couple of hours after that, or a couple of days really after that, he was then cleared, because we do understand that the father took him to the police station on Friday. Let's have a listen to what the father had to say to us a bit earlier on regarding taking his son to the police station.
Bengazi ukuthi kulesimo abekwa kusona akwazi ukuba kusona ngoba ngiyazi umuntu ohlale ewashela imoto usuku nosuku azaqede ngabo 9 ngo10 uma linethi izulu ifakwe kwikapoti ekhaya bayiwashele khona kuze kushaye ngisho ole past 10 late. Kodwa ke ngithe mase ngizwa ukuthi kulesimo ngase ngizwela ukuthi ma esetholakala ngoba athi amaphoyisa acela simlethe uma simthola.
And that conversation, Oli, there is with the father, and he does in fact go back to what we heard from the statement that was released by the police, where they state that in fact Fezile Ngubane washes cars for a living. We also had a conversation with his mother, who asked not to appear on camera, but she spoke to us about the type of person that her son is, and also how this whole ordeal has affected the Ngubane family. This is what she had to say to us a bit earlier on.
Kungiphatheka kabuhlungu kakhulu makuthiwa umadala uyoboshwa. Umadala lapha kwi-section yami uthandwa yinoma imuphi umuntu ngoba uyarespecta. Ngimhambisile kwi-Islamic school. He knows about respecting people. So now lento yangiphatha kakhulu ukuthi angenza into enje.